This is Good Day Street Talk.
Summer is here and everyone wants to look their swimsuit best this season, but New Jersey's infamous tanning mom has thrust the issue of tanning, especially among young people, into the spotlight. Joining me now for more is beauty expert Erica Katz, who's the author of Bonding Over Beauty, and Dr. Rebecca BAXT, a board-certified dermatologist and assistant clinical professor of dermatology at NYU. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bottom line is that X amount of sun is safe. Do we know?
I don't really think much sun is safe for people with light skin. I mean, we know that the sun has ultraviolet radiation, ultraviolet B, ultraviolet A, and it's been strongly linked to skin cancer. And we see skin cancer as one of the only cancers that's really rising, especially melanoma, skyrocketing actually, rising at a very rapid rate. And it's very scary.
At the same time, it seems like tanning and tans continue to be a trend in fashion. Would you say that's true?
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of the tanning salons are actually targeting teenage girls. They have prom packages, they have homecoming packages, back to school. And the really disturbing part about it is these packages are usually unlimited. And the FDA recommends no more than 3 times a week. I recommend no times a week, but they recommend no more than 3 times a week. But if you have an unlimited package, I mean, who's really monitoring how many times these girls go?
Okay, and tanning beds are worse than the natural sun. Is that true?
I think both are bad. However, we know that people who go to tanning beds are 75% more likely to develop melanoma. And even if you go to a tanning bed 4 times in a year, you're 11% more likely to develop melanoma. So, you know, when you go to a tanning bed, you're not putting on any sunscreen. You're just getting straight ultraviolet A radiation. You know, when we go to the beach, we go outside, most people hopefully will be putting on some sunblock to try to protect themselves.
Let's go through some sunblock basics. How high a number do you need to purchase?
I recommend at least a 30, especially in the summer months. I personally feel that higher numbers are better. The differences are smaller as you get higher in the number, but it does help. So I would do at least a 30. You want it to say broad spectrum on there, so you want it to be blocking UVA and UVB rays. The best ingredients are titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, but there's lots of other good ingredients out there. And the most important thing is to use it properly. So apply it liberally, a lot of it, and reapply, reapply, reapply. Most people put it on in the morning and then they don't reapply it.
Right, because it's gunky and yucky and you don't really want to feel it on your skin.
And also they use sprays. And I actually tell parents not to use sprays on your kids because it's really hard to get it all over. They say it gets all over, but I don't think it really does, and you don't want to have little spots where you can burn. So I always say use a cream. I really like zinc oxide, and then now there's clear zinc oxide, and I actually love to surf with my kids, so when we go surfing I always put straight up zinc oxide all over my face and nose, and they come in beige and pink and blue, and so you know you can have fun with the colors too, so you can make it a little more fun, but it's really important to put that sunscreen on. I tell people not to go higher than 50, especially with kids, because a lot of kids have sensitive skin. I'm just afraid the chemicals are just too harsh, and I don't know if you agree with that, but for really sensitive skin, if you go above 50, you might have an allergic reaction.
Clear zinc oxide is great, right? Because that's the stuff that really kind of stays white on your skin.
The clear is actually clear.
That's great.
Right, and the zinc oxide is white, but you can do a clear one, and I think it's really good. I use it all the time. I think it's great.
Does tanning, does sunscreen prevent aging? We always think of it as preventing cancer.
Absolutely.
Does it truly prevent aging as
well?
well?
If you have a sunscreen that's UVA and UVB, blocks both of them, which most do, but you want to say broad spectrum, yes, because we know that the UVA rays are the ones that really age our skin rapidly. They cause wrinkles, they cause pigment, and that's the ones that are in the tanning salons. So people sometimes can burn from too much UVA, but it's usually you get very tan and your skin thickens and gets leathery and wrinkly and not attractive.
Yeah. I'll tell you a story. This is a true story. My best friend from growing up has been baking in the sun with baby oil since we're 16 years old, and now she has wrinkles around her eyes and around her mouth. And you know, we talk about it now, and I used to always wear sunscreen and tell her to wear it, and she didn't, and so she has the effects now. Unfortunately, when you're a teenager, you think you're going to live forever and be beautiful forever, but I do encourage you to tell your kids, show them pictures of you and your friends and how you've aged, and show them what the sun can do.
I've heard that a lot of your aging will depend on the sun you get before the age of 18 or something like that. Is that true? That what really has affects your skin? And often young people don't think about that they're going to get older.
That's right. Some studies have shown that to be the case, that we get a lot of sun. You know, think about all the years at the beach and summer camp, and then as you get older, you're not in the sun as much. You have a job. Most people work indoors. So people do get a lot of sun exposure as kids. I think it's very important to protect our children.
Is that worse that if you get it after a certain age? Is it more potent somehow, or?
Well, I think it's been shown that bad sunburns as a child can definitely increase your risk of melanoma. So we don't want our kids to get burned. And yes, you know, when you're young and your body's developing, it's not good to get all this ultraviolet radiation.
And incidentally, my best friend did get melanoma on her leg and had to have it removed and has a scar this big. So it's real.
Yeah, and melanoma can pop up anywhere. I mean, you really do get more sun in your face, your neck, and your arms, but people can get it anywhere.
You can get melanoma anywhere. It's very common on the trunk, and as you said, the trunk might be covered with clothing more often, but melanoma can pop up anywhere, and we're seeing it more and more in young people. It's increased 800% in young women in the last 40 years. And it's scary. I mean, I diagnosed a melanoma in a 19-year-old patient who had been tanning. It's very scary.
And that is the deadly skin cancer.
That's the deadly skin, potentially deadly skin cancer. Correct.
Obviously, you're both in favor of the laws, the new laws banning tanning booths for people under a certain age.
Yes. I think that the industry needs to be regulated. It's just not regulated, and they can say whatever they want. And the most disturbing thing is you go in there, they minimize the risk, and they said, well, you'll get vitamin D. The truth is vitamin D comes from the UVB rays. The tan comes from the UVA rays. So first of all, you don't know what rays you're actually getting in that tanning booth. And to get vitamin D, you can walk down the street and you'll get it. You can eat cereal, milk, whatever, and you'll get it. And I think they play up the benefits of it and they play down the risks. And I'll tell you, if I went into a tanning booth, I would burn in 5 minutes. But these people really aren't trained to tell me that. And also they're there to sell me the tanning package. So I think the industry has to be regulated, especially for minors. I mean, you can't even buy cigarettes if you're under 18, yet you can go in a tanning booth, which is also a carcinogen.
Yeah, save the money on the tanning package, get the annual screening, right?
Yes,
the annual skin check.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Good and important things to keep in mind this summer. We think we know it all when it comes to, at this point, tanning and sunscreen, but there's always something that slips through the cracks, so it's good to keep it fresh.